Hey there, you are listening to 10 Films I Hate About You, the podcast where we look at my DVD collection and take it apart, one DVD at a time. This is season 2, so we've got 10 fresh films coming for you over the next 10 episodes. It's very exciting. I say we because I'm here with my partner, Kevin.
Hey.
He's just as excited to be here as he normally is. New year, new season.
Unfortunately,
we're doing the world a favour. We're recycling. We're taking things off my
recycling
shelves.
movies people never heard of.
Oh, I reckon this season there's going to be some stuff that people have heard of. Which brings me to today's film. I've decided to kind of theme this season, Kev. You're going to love it.
I thought last year had a theme.
What was the theme?
Shit.
Kev. This year is going to be all about trilogies. So, most of what we will do in a set of 3.
Yay.
Oh my god. Any guesses what the first film will be?
Lord of the Rings.
Of course not. We would never throw out Lord of the Rings. That's a silly suggestion. I gave you a hint this morning when I said that I was going to eat shiriaru for breakfast. We are watching The Karate Kid.
Oh, for the love of God.
You'll love it. There is no way we can possibly throw out The Karate Kid 1. Probably not 2, possibly 3. That's my prediction anyway. Have you seen The Karate Kid?
Yeah.
I'm hoping
It doesn't hold up.
It doesn't hold up?
Like, ask everyone who's seen it. Even Cobra Kai doesn't hold up.
You haven't even seen Cobra Kai.
I don't have to.
I was hoping to lull you into Cobra Kai through rewatching.
No, I'm not watching it.
Okay, well, I'm going to read you the blurb just to refresh your memory on how awesome The Karate Kid is.
Alright, let me have a guess. Cliche Asian man, probably Japanese descent, sees white kid who's in trouble, helps him out.
You're close. But Kevin, have you seen this case that I've got my Karate Kid trilogy in? It's like a steel book. It's so fancy. I have no idea how much this cost me. Okay, in the original The Karate Kid, we were introduced to Daniel and Miyagi, the lonely teenager and the martial arts master who discover the secrets of karate and the power of friendship. The challenge was tougher, and the action more... Oh, we're heading into The Karate Kid 2 now. It appears there is no singular blurbs on this DVD because it's a trilogy.
They can't even get the cover right. They can't even get the blurb right.
Well, what if I... Nope, the blurb is the same on the inside. We'll have to go in knowing only that this is about a martial arts master and friendship, which seems like a bad blurb.
You think?
Anyway, we are going to go and watch The Karate Kid Part 1 right now. Kevin is so stoked about it. He is ready to go. I'm going to fight hard to keep this DVD.
How the hell do you think saying the word cereal in Japanese will get me Karate Kid?
It was a hint.
How is that a hint?
If I made it more obvious, then it wouldn't be a hint. It would just be like, we're watching The Karate Kid.
Just put it on.
Okay. All right, we're going to go watch this thing. If you haven't seen The Karate Kid in a really long time, or you haven't seen it at all, this is your final opportunity. We're going to watch it. We're going to come back. Kevin is going to spoil it with his excellent recap.
What, a 30-year-old movie?
Not leaving anything out. So get it on your DVD player or watch it on whatever streaming service it's available on so you don't get it spoiled for you. That would be disappointing. We've just finished watching The Karate Kid Part 1. It actually occurred to me when we started watching that I don't think they intended this to be Part 1. It's just The Karate Kid. But then it must have been popular, so they made more parts.
Oh wow, you figured out Hollywood's recipe.
Wow.
Wow.
Anyway, what a time, Kev. What a time.
It is the 80s.
Well, yeah, it is. It is.
That's a quote from the movie.
It was. It certainly was. All right, are you ready to recap this thing? I'm ready to fight to the death for it, or to the body bag.
I'll sweep your leg. Oh my god. So the first time I ever watched this movie was
We're starting at the very beginning.
What?
Never mind. The beginning of your story with the Karate Kid. Okay, go.
Okay, I'm going.
No. The first time you watched the Karate Kid.
You're mocking my story.
No,
you
no,
want
I'm
a
ready.
podcast? You want a podcast?
I'm ready.
Like, I'm giving you the time to discuss this terrible movie, and then you're interrupting me.
Okay, I apologize.
I see your new tactics.
I apologize. I take it back. I won't fight dirty. It is your turn.
It's like you're part of the Cobra Kai.
Oh my words. Strong words there.
First time I watched this movie, my dad made me watch this movie because he thought it was one of the best movies out. Just like Superman 1, 2, 3, and 4. So he thought I should watch 1, 2, and 3 of the Karate Kid. And I'm pretty sure we didn't even watch it in order.
Your dad is a very wise man.
And he was like, you should watch it before you do Taekwondo. Rah, rah, rah. Not the same thing. Not the same thing. But anyway, so the movie.
Yes.
What's his name? I forgot his name already.
Daniel?
Yeah.
Daniel
I just know-
LaRusso.
all my life I've known him as the Karate Kid. I don't know his name.
Oh my goodness. But there's been many Karate Kids. You have to be able to differentiate them.
Yeah, there's Karate Kid and what's her
Hilary
name?
Swank?
Hilary Swank. That's it.
No.
Well, anyway, Daniel and his mum move from Jersey to LA with a terrible car. I don't know how they made it alive there. That's coast to coast
It's an 80s station wagon.
that they have to push every time it starts.
I had one of those growing up. It was fine. I survived.
Did you drive from Jersey to LA?
No.
There you go. They move into this apartment blocks
Yes.
with a pool as advertised, but it wasn't really advertised that well because there's no water in it.
Well, or you could argue it was advertised very well because
It's true. That's true.
it got them there.
So Daniel's obviously, new kid on the block. Mum's got a job, and there's this guy. When you look at the gate of the apartment and his mum's walking in, if you look closely, there's a guy walking towards the door.
I didn't know they put that in there. Smart.
Right? He was walking in, and then mum walks in, and you don't see the guy. And then when Daniel does the kick, the door, the guy just so happens to be there.
Foreshadowing.
Or, they just edited the movie terribly because they were like, all right, now you move in because he's going to kick the door. And anyway, and the guy gets kicked. Not just kicked, but through the door.
Yeah.
Falls over. And he goes, that was cool.
Does he say that? I don't think he says that. He just
Well,
says...
you're on the defensive right now.
He says,
God, wax
don't
on,
worry
wax
about
off.
it. Don't worry about it. It's fine. I get kicked in the face by gates all the time.
Yeah. And then he goes to help this kid, Daniel, after being kicked
Yeah.
by a solid door. But anyway, they go into the apartment. Everything's broken. The faucet's broken. There's a thirsty dog.
Yep.
Yep. All the things you need to, set the scene. And Daniel walks to the maintenance storeroom.
Yes.
And he sees this man trying to catch a fly with his chopsticks. Because, how can we make this man more Asian? Give him some chopsticks, surround him with some bonsai trees, and put a headband on him.
Production design.
Very cliche.
You are correct.
Yep.
Sir.
The lesson of patience started happening in the first 10 minutes of the movie. By telling him to wait, I'll fix it later.
It's a very important lesson.
Yeah, I'll fix it later. That's the moral of the movie. Anyway, the weird kid that gets kicked by the door invites Daniel to a party.
Yeah.
Very generous,
Turn
I must
the
say.
other cheek.
Yeah. He did a 180 with both his ass cheeks flying up in the air.
God.
And he was like, I'm going to invite this kid to a party.
Yeah.
Goes to the party. They're playing the longest match of soccer. Probably went from like one end of the beach to the other. I don't know where the goal is, but they're just running. They're just running. And they just so happen to stop near the girls. And Ali with an eye comes in. And Daniel stares at her with his ever-changing sweat patches.
Ever-changing sweat
Did you
patch.
notice it?
I really didn't notice the sweat
So when he
patches.
was talking to Ali, or staring at her for the first time, his sweat patches were, where you expect them, under the armpits, straight in the middle of the chest. And then when he was walking away, the sweat was on his stomach and on his neckline. Nothing on the armpits. And then nothing on the back.
Interesting.
Yep.
Maybe Daniel has a condition.
Yeah, probably. Well, he's probably got, sweating is probably one of his many conditions that we've encountered in this movie. So obviously, the dudes make Daniel hit on this girl, and they flirt. Starts teaching her how to juggle a soccer ball, and then vroom vroom, here comes the blondies.
The blondies. Yeah, I guess they were all blonde. It was
It's
a bit
so
weird.
defensive
No,
right now.
no.
The blondies. What do you call them that?
It's my job to defend this film to the death.
Yeah, but you're like really taken into the movie of defense wins games.
I don't know how to defend many of these points, so I'm just going in hard on everything.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be nice to this movie because I'm tired.
but-
It's hot, and
I will concede on the fact that they are in fact all blonde.
So Ali turns out to be main blonde dude's ex-girlfriend, or
Johnny?
yeah, I'm gonna reveal his name.
Okay,
later.
sorry.
Oh my god. So Johnny,
I
thank
thought
you.
this was the Daniel situation
No,
again.
everyone knows Johnny's name.
Oh,
Like he's the lead character of Cobra Kai.
that is true.
Oh my god.
But we haven't even seen that show.
I don't have to.
Oh.
It's so memeable. That's why.
I feel like I'm going to be watching Cobra Kai on my
I feel
own.
like you're being offended by this recap.
No, continue. Please continue.
Oh my lord.
I'm so ready.
It's like you don't have the right to be offended. You see how cliche all the Asian cliches are in this movie?
Yes, I did. I was not okay with it.
Yeah. Oh, it's alright. It's the 80s.
Oh no, he hit me right in the 80s. We'll get to that later. Keep going.
So cliche. I'm gonna say a lot of the word cliche a lot because this movie is
Cliche.
the cliche to the max. So Johnny gets mad, threatens Daniel. Oh, I forgot. So when Daniel kicked the door, the kid was like, "Was that karate? Did you learn karate?" So this kid, invited Daniel because he thought he knew karate. That's why he thought he was so cool.
Oh,
So they fight, Johnny and Daniel, and then Daniel loses because Johnny just so happens to be the leader of the Cobra Kai, which is, the main student of the Cobra Kai. Their main
ambassador.
pupil. So they fight, and Johnny becomes very domestically, abusive towards Ali. Blames it on her that this Daniel kid got bashed because it's all her fault. It's alright, it's the 80s.
Oh my god.
It's normalized back then. And, Daniel's crying in the sand. And then the guy that invited him, I didn't even know his name. Because he disappears after this. And then he comes back at the end of the movie.
Yeah, he becomes like a featured extra at
Yeah,
this point.
yeah. I thought he was going to, I thought, I don't remember this guy. I thought he was going to be the buddy, the sidekick. Nah, Daniel's a loser. So he loses. The guy that got kicked by the door is disappointed because Daniel can't really do karate, and then
In Daniel's defense,
he didn't have defense. He got bashed.
have you
What defense?
have you ever tried to fight someone on a beach? It's not a
Have
very,
you? Have you? No, explain. Okay, guys. Katie's got a
Look.
backstory of fighting in the beach with a bunch of guys with motorbikes
In my experience,
of doing karate by the bonfire in the beach. Go on.
a beach
Yes.
is made of sand.
Yes.
And sand moves a lot. It's
Well,
it's an
Johnny moved a lot and he seemed fine. He seemed fine.
Maybe.
He seemed fine.
Johnny's from
You
California.
could argue.
Maybe.
Look, you could argue that Daniel's techniques are very unorthodox. Johnny will be quite distracted by Daniel's moves, but no, he's terrible at karate.
But he's blonde. He's from California. Maybe he's used to walking on surfaces like sand. And he had an advantage. He had an unfair advantage in this fight.
Lesson here, kids. Don't talk crap saying you know karate.
Oh my god.
And fight on the beach. who's someone who's experienced walking on the beach because he's got blonde hair.
Yeah. You know what probably also put Daniel off? He was probably lulled into a false sense of security because weren't the Beach Boys playing at the beginning of that scene?
I have no idea.
The Beach Boys are a good time. I feel like they were. I don't know for certain, but I feel like
What? It's like, what, the Beach Boys are on? My karate skills are just going up.
Yes. Statistics have shown that if you play the Beach Boys at a karate comp, more wins happen.
Did that movie even have enough money to pay for the rights to play the Beach Boys?
There were some bangers in that film.
Oh, look, you know, the soundtrack was good.
Yeah.
You know, it's very 80s. It really, you know, that's probably one of the best parts of the movie. But, you know, we're getting stuck in this beach part.
Okay.
The next day, he leaves the house with his glasses on. Mum's like, "Are you on drugs, kid? Show me your eyes, kid!" And then Mum's like, "Oh, it's okay, you just got hit
You have to remember, Mum would have grown up
with drugs."
in the 60s and 70s.
With drugs.
I was going to say in the 60s and 70s.
Doesn't matter. It's her fault, really.
What?
What?
You're blaming the mum?
The kid wasn't prepared to move.
Oh, I thought you were going
He
to
had
say
one suitcase
he wasn't prepared
and a
for
bike.
karate.
and bats. Mum's like, "Go, just do your karate thing that you know that you're learning from the book. You'll be fine. You'll make friends through that briefly."
Oh, man.
So he puts his glasses on, walks away. Mum's all worried because he's got a black eye, but look, you know, looks worse than it feels. Goes to school because the thing is, he's got like a death wish. He's just riding his bike in front of a school bus, thinking he owns the roads.
That's how the roads worked in the 80s.
Blah blah blah, and then a little bit of a you know, a panning shot of the oval. He's doing his juggling of the soccer ball again, and Ali's there.
Ali with an eye.
Yep, Daniel with an L because he took an L the whole movie. Katie didn't know what L meant, so you know.
Yeah, I was
She
like,
didn't get the
lollipop?
Yeah, he's a loser. He took an L.
I don't like the term loser. I think it's harsh.
Well, that's how he's been portrayed the whole movie.
You're a winner as long as you try your best.
Yeah, until you eat sand.
Oh, no. Okay, carry on.
And then he realized that Johnny goes to the same school. And then, you know, the usual Johnny's turf, Daniel's a new kid, fighting over the girl. Well, they didn't really fight over the girl. Johnny really just gave up on that. Yeah, look, you know, he tried for a little bit and he got slapped by the chick and he was like, "Nah, I'm just gonna focus on my karate."
He did force his tongue down her throat.
Yeah, he did. Because he's, you know,
I wouldn't
a
say
DV
actually
perpetrator
that's
in the
trying
making.
to get the girl. Like,
Well, because he already had the girl. That's his thought. That's his frame of mind.
oh.
Anyway, there's a few events that led to Daniel's bashing. The dance? Well, the dance was the main
It's kinda-
instigator of
Later,
Spider-Man Ninja, Mr. Miyagi.
yeah.
Or
His-
Mr. Miyagi, sorry.
The first one that Mr. Miyagi got involved in was the bike.
Yeah, so he fixed the bike because he's a maintenance man.
Because the motorbikes sent the push bike down a hill.
That's right, it was attempted murder by the road.
Attempted murder. It was very rough.
So you got 5 motorbikes with a kid on a bike along a dangerous road and you push him off by steering into him. Do you think that's attempted murder?
It was the 80s.
Yeah, I guess it was the 80s.
Kids played rough back then.
Yeah, kids played rough. Partners played rough for their partners.
Oh, God.
It's the 80s.
No.
You really want to keep this movie?
No. Oh, yes. I do. Keep going.
There you go. Aren't you supportive of that? Of the very telling story?
You're pushing me into a corner here.
You pushed yourself.
Oh. Okay.
See, I'm using the Johnny method here. Anyway, after the first incident of the attempted murder by the side of the hill, Daniel was like, I'm gonna learn real karate instead of this stupid book. So he goes to a building conveniently labeled karate on the side, and then he realizes it's the Cobra Kai. He was impressed by the way they were doing it, and then he sees Johnny leading the pack. So he's like, "Nah, I give up." Blah 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 blah. And then they go to the dance, dressed as a shower, washing away all his loser.
Mr. Miyagi
personalities.
made him a shower curtain screen to
That's
wear.
true. Oh, actually, yeah, the bonsai scene. That was a nice scene, but I kind of thought to myself, were those really bonsai trees,
I think they were.
or are they like a marijuana den that
Kev.
Mr. Miyagi. How many cars does he have?
Don't be ridiculous.
How many cars does he have, Katie?
They're all vintage. He
Yeah.
probably
You know-
bought them back in the 40s and just left them there.
He's got a conveniently placed house in a pretty big lot. Single man doing maintenance in a shitty apartment. He's selling drugs through bonsai trees.
You are
There we go.
so
There we
suspicious
go.
of Mr. Miyagi.
He basically groomed Daniel.
Oh, God. When you put it like that, it sounds really...
And the alcohol scene
Oh, yeah.
takes him fishing, gets him to do his, like, you know, chores.
How are you making the Karate Kid so creepy?
I see it the way I see it.
Oh.
You really want to keep this series? Do you really want to keep watching part 2 and 3? And Hilary Swank?
We don't own the Hillary
Nah, we have to watch
one.
Hilary Swank now. I'm going to buy it and I'm going to turn this whole podcast around.
What, by arguing?
Yeah, for Hilary Swank. Academy Award winner, Hilary Swank and Mr. Miyagi in one movie. Whoa, blockbuster.
That is blasphemy. I've never seen it.
Yep, but then you make me watch a movie about an Asian man grooming a
What's to
maybe intellectually
Okay.
challenged boy.
If you're going to make this argument, then who's to say that Hilary Swank isn't also being treated the same way?
Exactly.
Oh my
So
word.
this series set a precedent.
Kev, can we backtrack a little to the bike scene?
Well, we're going back to the bike scene.
Because it was the only scene that made me cry. I got so emotional.
Why?
Because he was like, I hate this bike. I hate this bike.
Oh,
And then
yeah. After that, he was talking to the bike, right? But during the cafeteria scene where he generously paid for Ali with an Eye's lunch, he kept telling her, he was like, oh yeah, I hear these voices that, you know, I should stop being a yo-yo, you know, like, and then he kept going with that. He's like,
Yeah.
it's the voices again. Can someone listen to this kid? He's probably got some serious mental health issues from getting bashed to bits,
Yeah.
rolling down a very
Dangerous
steep
slope.
hill.
His bike getting wrecked.
Yep, eating sand.
Yeah, he was not having a good time.
Yep. So this kid's probably got mental health issues,
Yeah, probably.
and all
But
that paint and wax,
It's the 80s, so people don't talk about it.
all that paint and wax, and you know the trauma of grooming by an old man.
I feel really bad for Pat Morita right now. Is that his name?
He's an actor. He's just playing a character, Katie.
Okay. All right. Excellent. I'm glad we've established that. Because poor Mr. Miyagi. I like
Look,
Mr.
yeah,
Miyagi.
Mr. Miyagi's got his own traumas. He's just pranking a friend, but you know, in a legal standpoint, that could be argued as grooming. Hey, you wanted me to share my
Yes.
thoughts? I'm sharing my thoughts.
I appreciate your thoughts.
Yeah, we're hitting hard with the first episode of this season,
We are.
and you got the look in your eyes that you regret showing me this movie now.
Well, you are opening up my eyes to some perspectives that I had never even conceived possible. You're
And
coming
look,
out.
you know,
You've been preparing
this
for
movie,
this one.
I didn't know we were watching this movie. How am I prepared for this? And look, let's be honest, you know, it's just two boys just bonding through their shared trauma.
You're talking about Johnny and
No,
Daniel?
Mr. Miyagi.
Oh,
He's a boy at heart. He's got 6-7 cars. And a koi pond, which was pretty cool. Where are we up to? Like,
we're up to the dance.
I'm jumping around.
We got to the dance. I wanted to go back and talk
Look.
about the bike.
Look, we'll brush through the plot. We'll just go to the plot, and then we'll go, dissect each one because there's a lot to dissect.
Okay.
Johnny bully, Ali with an eye, love interest, Mr. Miyagi mentor, Daniel-san loser, mum is a neglectful parent. Daniel trains because he needs to build resilience, right? So after the dance, he gets caught by, a very stoned, he didn't even get to smoke his weed.
Johnny
didn't.
It got wet.
Yeah, because Daniel thought it was the best time to seek revenge. So he grabs a hose while Johnny was sitting on the toilet listening to his Walkman, rolling a joint. Because that's the best time to do it in a costume party where you're dressed as a shower, which is quite symbolic. He wet Johnny and he's a shower.
Ah, nice.
So he's running down the street dressed as a shower, causing a 5-car pileup.
Oh yeah, that was intense.
Yep. So people probably died.
It was a car park. I don't understand why they didn't just brake. Like, why
It
did
was
they
a road.
swerve? Or was it a road?
It was a road.
Oh, okay.
So fogged up by how good you thought this movie was. So Mr. Miyagi goes, Spider-Man on Johnny's gang, Cobra Kai. And then that's when they go, you have to train by doing chores.
Well, Mr. Miyagi doesn't...
Like a true Asian.
Originally...
You learn from your chores. Look at me now, Mum.
Mr. Miyagi doesn't want him to do karate at first, but then Daniel twists his arm because they go to speak to the teacher.
Who twists whose arm? Daniel paid into his fences, sanded his floors,
wax on, wax off,
waxed his cars,
painted his house,
left to right, wrist left to right. And during the movie, I told Katie, man, I wonder if Mr. Miyagi is smoking some of his product, going fishing. And it's like, man, this kid's really falling for all this shit.
Kev, I don't believe that Mr. Miyagi is a user.
He's a recreational user. You never know. He's gone through a lot, Katie.
Okay, yes, he has some trauma.
He's been through wars, personal and an actual war.
And he does enjoy an adult beverage.
Yeah, so, he's gone fishing by himself with his boat. And he probably goes, man, this kid's really falling for it. I should probably teach him some, BS karate. And, make something up with all these chores. And it worked. Because most of your defense comes from your hands, apparently.
Or your defense comes from...
the fumes of the paint, yes.
Doing the chores that you're told to do. And maybe this is like one of those things, like, when you're a kid and your parents are like, eat your crust and you'll get curly hair. Maybe it's like, do your chores and you'll become...
You learn karate. Yeah, wash the dishes. You become a jiu-jitsu master.
Yeah.
I'm not a jiu-jitsu master yet.
You do a lot of dishes.
Yeah.
You should be by now.
Where's my black belt?
I think your mum lied to you about that. I'm sorry.
But anyway, they train. Well, he does chores. Ali with an I and Daniel with an L go quite steady. They're doing pretty well. And then they set up a date, and then she goes overtime because it was for 9:30. They're supposed to be at 9:30. She was at a very rich person fancy party with her dad. Country club, yep. And Daniel's like, I'm going to go there and pick her up and see what's on. And through the kitchen doors, which is, quite symbolic of the barrier between rich and the poor, he can only see what he can see because he's not allowed in. He sees Johnny dancing with Ali with an I, and then they kiss. From his perspective, Daniel gets pissed. Ali with an I gets pissed. Hits Johnny because it's basically sexual assault.
The most assaulting part of this whole sequence.
Ali with an I's mum asked Johnny how he was instead of asking her daughter how she was. 100%. It's the 80s. It's fine.
Oh no.
And then Daniel's all startled, gets sad, runs into a waiter with spaghetti. A very abundant amount of spaghetti, I must say.
Maybe it was a family serve.
Yeah, because what do they serve in country clubs? Bolognese.
Families.
What, they serve families to eat?
No.
Oh my god, there's more to this movie than I thought. Anyway, training gets serious, and then Daniel's like, I'm not going to win against these people. Blah, 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 blah. So Mr. Miyagi and him drive. Is this the same part? I don't know if it's even the same part anymore. But, it's just the same trajectory that we're going to anyway.
Yeah.
Mr. Miyagi takes Daniel to Cobra Kai.
Oh, this was before
it was early? Yeah,
the
I thought
chores
so.
started.
Yeah. And they make a deal. They're only going to fight during the tournament. So,
They got 2 months.
It's like the fighting celibacy. But, Daniel can bang all he wants before it. It's not like Rocky. And that's a story to be told. Anyway.
Our sound and music and science guy, Niall, has borrowed our box set of Rocky. So, unfortunately, we will not be analysing
we're not going to analyse Rocky in this podcast because we're not going to get rid of it.
Some might argue that The Karate Kid is better than Rocky.
Bullshit!
What about Rocky 4?
Still better than Karate Kid 1?
Oh my god. Oh.
And then, Rocky's led to the creation of Creed and Creed 2, which were really good movies.
Yes.
Argument over.
Okay, alright. Well, I tried.
Sylvester Stallone won an Oscar for Rocky.
Did he?
He wrote it.
I know that he wrote it.
Yeah, he screenplay. I'm pretty sure it was screenplay. He won.
Oh.
Karate Kid win?
Yes.
What did they win?
Let me check. I'm sure, a lot of very prestigious awards.
Won your heart, I know that.
Nominated for 1 Oscar.
What? Set design.
Best actor in a supporting role.
Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah, Pat Morita.
Yeah, that's probably the best part of this movie, other than the soundtrack.
It did win at the Young Artist Awards.
Nah, argument over. Let's move on. Anyway, Rocky wannabe trains.
Rocky wannabe.
And
He fights the ocean.
yeah, fights the ocean. Ocean wins, hands down. 10 rounds to 12. 10 rounds to 2. So I don't know if they wanted to make people empathize with Mr. Miyagi, but there's some racial stuff happening in this movie. In the sense, like, you know, the 2 drunkies on his car.
There were 2 things that I couldn't get behind in this film. Obviously, I can't get behind racism, but like Daniel annoyed me because at the beginning of the film, when Johnny like stole Ali with an Eye's radio and she was like, "Give me my radio," Daniel was like all in there. He was like, "I'm not going to be a bystander. I'm going to be, I'm going to stand for what's right, justice and all that." And then when like 2 drunk guys were being racist to Mr. Miyagi, Daniel just stands there.
Because Daniel's a racist. He took advantage of Mr. Miyagi's grooming and took his car.
How do you take advantage of someone else's grooming?
Because he knows that Mr. Miyagi will do anything for me. Might as well take advantage of it.
Oh, it was a birthday gift.
A choice of 5 cars?
Mr. Miyagi is just a kind soul, Kev.
He is. That's why Daniel's taking advantage of his, pseudo grooming.
Oh, God. Okay. I hope some small child doesn't find this, although if they found it, maybe they would learn about the dangers of making friends.
Well, if they find this, their parents need to be put somewhere. Anyway, we're up to he's training. So the country club scene happened. Training ensues. More motivation for Daniel-san. Racism happens. What else happens? He goes to the
arcade.
The arcade because he got his license. Was this after his birthday?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Somewhere in between there, during the training, Mr. Miyagi is drunk, gets hammered.
Yeah.
And offers Daniel a drink.
Yes.
And insists on Daniel having a drink.
Is this the point where I say it was the 80s?
Sure, okay. No. Defend it as much as you want. And then this is when Daniel finds out a little bit more about Mr. Miyagi.
Mm.
And that's the thing too, like, how stupid is this kid? I don't know, how many times did Mr. Miyagi corrected him? If someone introduces their name to you, you get it wrong once or twice. That's fair enough. Wouldn't you remember the embarrassment of getting someone's name wrong and being corrected and, really trying to make it that you're trying to say their name right?
I feel like that's like the whole metaphor of like Daniel's story. It's like...
What, he's stupid?
No.
Not a metaphor. You can see it.
No, it's like when he finally starts calling Mr. Miyagi, Mr.
No,
Miyagi.
that's disrespectful. No.
It's like
the
he's
guy,
learned.
Yes, it was pseudo grooming, but still, fixed his bike. Oh, Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah, but the more he learns and accepts karate...
Well, that's the only time he's going to say someone's name right.
What, during the karate comp?
No, just in life in general.
Oh.
When you've, seen the benefits of being connected to someone, that's when you go, you know what? I'll start saying his name right now.
Yeah, you're right, that does make
Let's say
sense.
when we start our relationship, you keep calling me Kevin.
Oh, God.
Until you go, I love him now. I'm going to call him Kevin.
You're right, that is kind of rude.
Yeah, kind of rude.
You've changed my perspective on Daniel-san.
I don't think I went hard enough last season. I'm going to go ham on this one.
Good, I'm glad. Kind of. I'm very confused.
As tears rolls down her eyes, I'm glad.
The people of Facebook
Do you
might
want me to
start to
continue?
agree
Do you
with
want me to continue?
Yes, continue. Okay, I'm ready for this.
Mr. Miyagi's background, he was in the army.
He was in the US Army.
Yep. And then, obviously, he was married, and his wife was pregnant, died through childbirth.
Yeah, while he was serving.
Yep. So,
that in itself would be hard. Like,
well, that's what I mean, that he's gone through trauma. I joke around about the grooming and stuff, but he's trying to make a connection with a a son he never had.
But also, like,
An American son. He insisted on that. First
Well-
American Miyagi.
fighting with the Americans against the Japanese would have been challenging too.
Yeah.
As an immigrant.
There's a lot to unpack, like Daniel did with his personal belongings.
Yeah, that wasn't a nice move by Daniel.
It just reads the article out loud. Anyway,
Telegram, I think.
so that's when it all unravels why Mr. Miyagi is a very a recluse man.
In Daniel's defense, he did tuck Mr. Miyagi into bed
Yep.
very kindly.
Just giving back the grooming. Anyway,
God.
what?
Carry on.
Am I offending you?
Am I going to have to listen to this for another 2 episodes of this podcast?
Hey, who chose the movies? I didn't choose the movies. I didn't know we were gonna watch this movie. And then my cereal tasted like cardboard because it's gluten free.
It's not my fault that you're gluten
Yeah.
intolerant.
And then you tell me the clue was the Japanese word for cereal. Anyway,
You'll know next time.
training, birthday. Ali with a knife forgives him, and then training ensues. Mum's nowhere to be seen.
Don't really understand why they were in a fight. Like Ali with an eye and Daniel. Like the spaghetti happened, but why was she angry at him?
It was her spaghetti, probably. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, they keep training, on the boat, on the poles, waxing on, waxing off.
Mr. Miyagi's story influences Daniel to train on his own,
Yep,
practice the crane kick.
yep. You can see all the influence of Rocky in it, with all the montages, the training, and all that stuff.
It is kind of Rocky for kids.
Yeah, with all the misogyny and stuff, yeah. And the systemic racism. What?
Carry on.
What?
No.
What,
I'm not refuting the systemic racism at all.
Alright, let me set the scene. Cobra Kai, they're training.
You carry on. For
What?
the listeners, not for me. I'm totally on your side with this.
Yeah, and the trainer, the Aldi version of David Hasselhoff, is really focused on the white kid. So he's like, all right, fight this black kid, and then the black kid gets beaten up really badly. Like it's a pretty illegal shot. Let's be honest.
I'm not an expert in karate.
Well, karate is about discipline, not about
He's-
violence, which is what's been taught in this movie, which is probably the best part of the movie.
What, that they're learning violence?
No, that violence is not karate. It's about self-discipline and patience.
Right, yes. I see.
Wow, okay, Cobra Kai.
No, I thought you were
What?
taking
No
away the
mercy?
Cobra Kai message.
And they did take the Cobra Kai message within their own dojo.
Yeah.
And this kid, who just happens to be the only, non-Caucasian person in this building, other than Mr. Miyagi, because they were watching, remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This kid who's clearly hurt,
He's down.
he's clearly hurt. Yeah. He's not standing up, obviously. He just gets left behind.
Well,
And then they were like, keep training. You want to improve.
he was like, finish him.
Yeah.
No mercy.
Yep. There you
They
go.
hit him while he was
You really
down.
want to keep this movie? Sure. But I guess, it is the villain's dojo. Anyway, so training happens again. More training. That's all I remember from this movie. Even as a kid, it's just the training. So they go to the tournament. They lie about him being a black belt. And Mr. Miyagi stole a black belt. And then, Cobra Kai kids started gathering around Daniel-san in the locker room, geeing him up,
One of them was very desperate to also be blonde. He bleached his hair and his eyebrows,
Yeah.
but they were like,
Have you seen Chris Hemsworth?
he had regrowth. No, but it
The
wasn't.
first Thor?
It wasn't like Chris Hemsworth blonde. Like that's.
Yeah, but it's in the beach, Katie. It's in the beach.
Oh, okay.
Like you said, they're used to walking in the beach, so their hair's like that. You're just refuting your own points.
Are you trying to convince me that his hair and his eyebrows were natural?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, they're geeing each other up. They're just like, you what now? You what? You what? Huh? So Daniel, for some reason, after not having any sparring training, any contact training, goes in probably the highest level of the competition because of a little white lie, or let's say a little black lie because it's a black belt. He didn't know what to do. Mr. Miyagi didn't know what to do.
But Ali with an eye knew.
Yeah,
She knew.
because she's been dating Johnny.
Yeah.
Daniel kept running out of the ring,
He was scared.
the squared circle, if you want to call it, for any fight fans out there. And then he was scared, and then the referee's like, you keep doing it again, you lose some points. And then he backs off and kicks this guy with his side kick.
And then the music starts.
And, you know, who's the best around? Not sure yet. Not sure yet because the movie's not over.
He's the best around.
And then, you know, you get the montage of the Cobra Kais, Daniel-san, Mr. Miyagi, you know, looking very disinterested on the sidelines.
He was engaged.
And a random Asian descent person who's really good, which they're trying to build up like, this guy's going to be the one to beat. And then we fast forward to the Johnny that fights him.
The first fight or the second fight? Is it the semi-finals or the final?
The semi-final.
The semi-final, it is not Johnny. It is another guy.
No, not Daniel. I'm talking about the Asian guy.
Oh, I don't remember. It's one of the
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Johnny that fought him because, yeah, like he got really injured, which is kind of like really driving the point home that these guys are dirty. And this dude who Daniel fights in the semifinals is on some mad hectic steroids or, you know, ecstasy perhaps, because he's just like, ah! He's very G'd up. He had like 5 scoops of pre-workout before this fight.
I don't know about that. I think he's just trying to follow his sensei's instructions.
Yeah, but did you see him during the final?
I wasn't paying attention. I was too nervous. I was on the edge of my seat, Kev.
Get out of here. So this guy, you know, what was the instruction from the sensei?
It was like, take him out, like, out of commission?
Yeah.
Out of commission. Put him out of commission. And he was like, no, I don't want to. And his sensei was like, shut up.
And you do
out
it.
Of commission.
And he does it. And he goes, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. Oh, God. You know, it's not my idea. And then during the final between Johnny and Daniel, this guy is just like, kill him. Put him in a body bag. Wow. Talk about sincere apologies.
Character development.
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe between him.
He needs some of
that 15 minutes where he kicked Daniel in the leg and then
broken femur.
Yeah, his character just changed.
Yep, he needs some of Mr. Miyagi's bonsai leaves.
Mr. Miyagi is not a drug addict. Maybe he needs to do some of Mr. Miyagi's chores. Maybe
sniff some paint and some wax. Yeah, that's gonna come him right down, baby.
Oh my god. You're warping it. It's PG. Doesn't mention anything about drugs. Which now that I think about it.
There's a joint. There's underage drinking.
It just says frequent low-level violence and low-level coarse language. That's all. There's no drugs.
Yeah, someone should contact the Australian Board of
ratings.
Yep.
Rating films.
Yep. Anyway, this kid who's high on pre-workout breaks Daniel's, it's not broken. It's probably like, you know, severely sprained.
He like jumps into the air and lands on Daniel's thigh.
Yeah.
And
so
then
it's probably sprained or torn. But it would hurt. You're in a competition, you know. Give him credit. So they take Daniel to
out the back to the glue factory.
Yep. Put him down. Pull the curtains. He's done for the day. Rip in peace. So the doctor's like, nah, that's it for you. You had a good run. I'll tell the judges. And then they all walk out, and it's like, Daniel's like, do the hand thing, Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah.
Touch me with your hands, Mr. Miyagi.
Oh God, why are you making it sound seedy?
And he's healed. Mr. Miyagi is Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
Mr. Miyagi Jesus.
What? Maybe it's just like
What?
Japanese massage therapy. What,
shiatsu?
Yeah, perhaps. I don't know.
Wow.
But not.
Mr. Miyagi's in the wrong industry. He could have coined, you know, instead of calling it shiatsu, call it Miyagi massage.
Well, apparently the Miyagi's named karate.
Yeah.
That's what this film claimed.
Yep.
They should have been making more money.
Yeah, look at him now.
They should have franchised
5 cars.
He's not a drug dealer. He's a franchisee.
Of
Karate.
marijuana bonsai trees, which is quite clever, actually.
No. Kevin, tell me about the final tournament. Please, end my misery.
Alright, you know, to everyone's surprise, Daniel walks out. A little bit of a limp. there's still a little bit of a cork on the leg.
He's hopping.
Yeah, and Johnny's like, huh? And then they fight. It was 3 points to 2. I don't know how they calculated the points.
Yeah.
But let's not get into that.
Well, the judge...
because I gotta go soon.
The judge said it was 2-2. And then Johnny won one. And then they said next point wins.
Yeah.
Like it was primary school basketball.
Yeah. They were like, oh, everyone's enjoying this. Our next point wins. That's how it goes.
If any karate experts are out there and could explain the scoring in this fight, would greatly appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, let's get Niall onto this. Let's talk about the science of karate and the American way of competitions.
Then I've got to lengthen his credit. Our sound, science, and karate guy, Niall.
He's getting a lot of unwarranted credit here. Anyway, obviously Daniel's fighting with one leg, and this is where the famous quote of "sweep the leg" comes in.
Yeah.
And he does the crane kick to...
Daniel does.
Yep.
Johnny does sweep the leg.
Yep.
That's how he gets the 3rd point.
Yep. And Johnny's nose gets semi-broken, I think, during the first couple of points of this fight. And then crane kick...
to the face.
Yep. The balls of his feet straight to the nose, slow-mo style.
Can't defend that.
No, you
Mr.
can't defend
Miyagi
it.
said so.
Yeah, can't defend it. It's like Kevin Durant's shot for anyone who's an NBA aficionado. Look, you know what? You can see where the similarities are there. Kevin Durant's hands are quite high. It's just like the crane arms. And then boom, counted for 2. Because apparently that's how Daniel won. They counted that kick for 2 points.
His next point wins.
Yep. So everyone celebrates and, just piled on and injured Daniel.
They lift him into the air.
Yeah, with his leg that's injured. He's like, guys, stop. He's sweating because he's in pain. And Johnny hands him the trophy and goes, you right?
Yeah.
Mr.
You're
Miyagi's
right,
face
Luso.
and credits.
Yep.
Boom. Recapped.
Good job.
And opened everyone's eyes.
Look, you certainly made me see this film from a different angle. I'm interested to see what our listeners will think of your recap.
Oh, bring on the hate.
Bring on the hate. Oh my goodness. I'm interested to see what our Facebook listeners will think of our recap. Let us know. Let us know what you think. Kev, are we keeping this film?
Look, I must say, I love this movie as a kid. Because as a kid, you don't really, dissect any of the issues in the movie. Because you just want to do karate. Even though you get signed up for Taekwondo. 2 different countries.
It's okay. I wanted to do ballroom dancing because of Strictly
Because
Ballroom.
of Karate Kid?
Because of Strictly
Or
Ballroom.
Rocky?
And I ended up at ballet.
I don't know if that's the same thing. But anyway, loved it as a kid. And I see why kids would enjoy this movie. I'm pretty sure, I was playing golf with my dad. And he's already... Because my brother now does Taekwondo as well. The Green God himself. And to get him motivated for this year's Taekwondo...
They made him do the dishes.
They made him watch Karate Kid and Cobra Kai, and now apparently he's obsessed.
Oh, there you go.
Kids love it because it's
we don't
style.
throw it
It's
out.
like Power Rangers, but yeah, it's throw it out.
Oh, you're breaking my heart.
When are you gonna watch this movie again? Now that you know that everything's based in the 80s and the morals are based in the 80s.
Look, Kevin.
Look, it's probably somewhere in one of the streaming services that you can just dig up. Type in KAR. Oh, there it is.
But what if they delete it from their streaming service one day?
It's probably a good thing.
Oh no. Well, Kevin, look,
It's had its run. It's had its 30-year run.
here's the thing.
It's had its run. Thank you, guys. Thank you for listening. Follow us on our socials. On Inconceivable Reviews.
Unfortunately, this is a triple pack. So in every sense of the word, it's a part 1 of 3 podcast episode. And you never know. You might love Karate Kid Part 2, Daniel-san Goes to Japan. You might love it.
Yeah, that's the one that I remember the most.
Yeah.
Like they're in the traditional Japanese houses.
And you might love Karate Kid Part 3, Daniel-san hits metal dolls. That's all I remember from it. Gets those bloody hands. You might love it. We might not end up throwing this out.
Yeah, I'd watch it.
Okay,
Well, you're the one putting yourself through this pain.
Yeah, look.
I'm
We'll
gonna
see.
keep talking smack about this movie.
We'll see how we
Because
feel.
How many movies did we throw out last season?
2,
Out of
10.
20%.
20% is
20%.
a good percentage.
No, it's not.
That is the
No, it's
percentage
not.
we are aiming
I didn't
for.
do my job. My KPIs have not been met. So
No commission?
no commission.
Okay, so you got to work hard on getting that commission this
Yep.
time round. All right. Well,
No matter what obstacles get thrown at me, and no matter what people say, we're throwing some movies out.
all right.
It's collecting a lot of dust.
You're
in the
making me
shelves.
very nervous.
Is it even 4K?
No.
No. There we go.
Okay.
Throwing it out.
If we got it on 4K,
We're going to throw the disc out. We'll keep the case so we can keep watching the rest of the movies.
got it. Do you know part 2 and part 3 are double-sided? So if we choose to keep one,
They
we are
can't even
forced
afford to
keep
buy
the other.
its own copy of a disc.
No, it's sharing a disc.
They pay for the steelbook.
Suppose we could scratch up one side if we decide to throw one out.
Well, you can do that. I'll record it, put it on our socials.
Okay.
Which are
Oh, we are Inconceivable Reviews and Inconceivable Reviews Official. You'll find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. In the meantime, check out our website, www.inconceivablereviews.com. On our website, we release written reviews of new releases, none of this old Karate Kid stuff that's out at the cinemas and fresh on Netflix. We let you know all about it. We'll be back in a fortnight with The Karate Kid Part 2. Kevin is already counting down the days. He is stoked.
oh, I'm G'd up, just like that guy. I'm gonna put this disc in a body bag.
Oh, God.